I mostly do black and white.
Digital miniature sculpting. That's the future. Get into it now.
Oh, my boyfriend does ZBrush, so he makes like really cool digital sculptures.
Yep. Learn ZBrush. You can get a job in the industry.
Oh wow.
This abstract piece what I did for art competition.
Wow, that's nice.
So a lot of
Are we too close?
No.
Did you notice the little thing I was talking about? Who asked that
This
question?
is one of my digital paintings.
I don't remember who asked that
She's
question.
so good.
Oh. That's eye ridge.
About the eye ridge below the brow. I don't remember who asked that, but you can see it on the model now.
Yeah, you definitely can. And the ears.
Yeah, I work in mostly pencils.
With it all else was black, starting to look like the board paint a little bit.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Sure, when the other details come on, it'll soften back a little bit.
So this isn't part of my recipe, but we're gonna real quick, I'm gonna add a little Maro white. I'm just gonna go real quick.
It's about 12 tries.
I think he's doing this
Right now I'm gonna throw a little touch of Maro white onto that highlight color to make it a little lighter. I'm gonna put in a couple of sharp highlights. And that'll make her face come out a little bit more. You can see that when we pass around. For lips, I'm going to use a little, just keep your flesh color. Keep your flesh color. Still wet in your little thing here. You're going to add a little red. I'm going to make a nice soft pink. I'm using a number 2, by the way.
What?
I
like
have
a
no
massive
words.
brush,
I
right?
have really no
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
My zero. I'm still like, I'm sort of in there, yeah.
Don't look at it too close.
I'm going to take some
Hey, look, if she smiles. You can
nice
see
Maro
it.
white. Add a little touch of that back to that pink.
I've noticed you're bracing both of your hands basically on the table.
Thank you. I always forget to point that out. That is one thing. Man, you brace your arms. I shake.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, you must have super steady hands. No, I don't. I shake. I have ADD. I'm a nervous wreck. So I shake. So if you brace your arms, and then if you notice, like sometimes I don't know if I do it subconsciously, but if you were watching, like sometimes I'll take my pinkies. And I'll put my pinkies together, you know, and then I'll paint like that. Or I'll hold my hands, my palms together, and I'll paint like that. All that's doing for me, honestly, is when this hand shakes, and then the model shakes, and the brush shakes, and everything's shaking together. And it's like I'm not shaking at all.
It's all going in the same direction.
It's kind of neat.
So when you work at home, is your table height about the same, or do you actually have a higher?
I've tried a couple
Does it
different
matter?
things. Like I said, I just moved here, and to move here, it took seriously getting rid of half my house.
Yeah.
So I had to buy a new desk, and I've tried it at a couple different heights, and about this height works really
Normal
well
table
for me.
height.
Normal table height works really well for me. I hunch. Also, I don't use my glasses. I take my glasses off a lot. Even if I have my glasses on, I look over the top of them because I like getting right up.
Yeah.
I like getting right up on my model. I like seeing real close. But you gotta do a lot of this, because this is important.
Perspective.
Yeah.
This is important.
That's how most
Yeah.
people are going to see it most of the time.
I'm a war gamer. When I'm playing on a war game table, it's a 4 foot by 4 foot table. You're 4 foot away from me. My army's over here. You're looking at the front of my army from 3 foot away. My army needs to look good from 3 foot away. Competition figures a little different because they
Sure.
actually get up on it. So you always pull it back. Even D&D, your guys are out in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
You want them to look sharp while they're fighting the beholder.
Yeah, but
You don't want them to look sharp here.
Yeah.
They need
Your
to look
players
sharp.
do pick them up once, but then they're always looking at them.
Yeah, your friends are gonna go, oh my God, look at that guy, and he's out there for 6 hours while you got Cheetos all over your fingers.
You got it.
So it doesn't really,
Yeah.
So always pull back, but I always default up to real close. So adding a little white to that pink, or a lot of white to the pink. So all I did is I painted the whole bottom lip. Never paint the top of the lip.
Okay.
Never paint the top lip red. Do not. If anything, you can, if they got a really pronounced, like, you know, like the girl will have the, I can't even get
That
it.
really
The
pronounced
really,
skin.
really
The duck face.
big.
Yeah, they
Fat.
get the
Yeah.
and the top lip kind of
Yep.
swoops out, like Werner Klock. Everybody's familiar with those models. The way he sculpts girls usually has that little bit of a swoop to the top lip. You can get in there and you can paint the bottom side of the top lip, and it looks really good. But don't do their, what is that called, the Cupid's bow?
Yeah.
Don't paint the Cupid's bow.
The
No,
clown
I'll just
comes out,
I'll
yeah.
just throw money at her.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to add, once again, I'm adding a little white to that pink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little tiny, very small stripe. Usually I go to the left side. And just a little dot right on that left side. Not here, here. On the bottom lip. I'm just going to put a little. You can do, on her I went ahead and did this, and then across the bottom, just a touch. And then I can add just a little bit more white. You don't want to get too crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to get too wild. I'm going to put just a tiny dot. Boom. Pass it out.
Oh, wow.
So how long does it take you to do a mini, normally?
Depends on what I'm doing.
This one.
That guy there is about 4 hours.
Okay.
Which one?
That's pretty impressive, actually.
And that's with the freehand even. But that guy's a little weird. That guy purely came out of joy of heart. You know, like a competition model, that's about 40 hours. I can show you another one on the phone. Just last month, Lock and Load happened here in town. Privateer Press has their own convention, just like Paizocon. And I got a gold for a model and best in show, best single model. And he was seriously like 60 hours. But I built, you know, once again, these are called a socket. This little thing is called a socket. I love these. I think they make models look absolutely gorgeous for non-gaming purposes. This is made out of solid wood. Actually, I'm a retard and I bought oak. So I carved that out myself. Real brilliant, and then sculpted the rocks and sculpted the thing, and then added the water and stuff like that. So a lot more time, but the model itself was probably about 35, 40 hours.
So in a competition, do you have to have a specific socket? Or is it?
It depends on the competition. Every competition has different rules, so
Gotcha.
you can get away with stuff like that. But that guy seriously came out of my favorite miniatures game of all time is Necromunda. And some of the older guys here will remember, oh,
I've heard of
Necromunda,
it.
the joy of Necromunda. I love that game. That's an old Necromunda fig, and it was purely just, I got invited to a Necromunda game with some dudes that are really cool, and I was just like, ah, and he just came out of me. Like, I didn't even look up color recipes or anything on that guy. He just poured out. So he poured out in about 4 hours. This guy's probably going to take me, 3 or 4 hours to paint. And this is for my army.
Yeah.
Like, I spend a little more time. So it all just depends on what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve. When I paint stuff for him, it's, I give him a good 30 minutes of work.
He's agreeing with you on that.
Because you want to try to encourage him to start doing his own?
Yeah, I mean, you really try, but, whatever.
Really pale. Is it
So, I mean, look how fast, honestly, look at that face and look how fast I paint that face. I paint that face while
Barely
talking and
peek
chatting
out.
Yeah.
and making jokes.
More like
It's right
flesh
there.
tone.
But it's all about that two-brush blend. That two-brush blend just makes everything go
Not like
so
wearing makeup
much
at all.
faster. Just so much
When
better.
you're painting the bigger
Which
figs,
much better results. You're getting superior results with a much
so with
quicker.
your bigger figs, or maybe even a little bigger, still the same size brush?
Yeah.
Use the same brush?
Now, like, I'm sure you all have seen some of those gaming miniatures that are like
Yeah.
The colossal.
Yeah, like some of
colossals.
the big dragons, yeah.
Beat my heart. I love painting big monsters, man. That is what it's all about for me, is big effing monsters. And like, I'll switch my blend brush. I'll just go up a size. So
Okay.
my application brush becomes a 2, my blend brush becomes a 3.
So not much bigger.
No,
Just
not
okay.
really. And a lot of times, base coats, this guy was base coated, his skin was base coated with the airbrush. Be
Yeah.
perfectly honest. Do I really want to go and paint all that skin on by
Probably
hand?
not.
Not when I can go.
Not a lot of detail in it, right? So.
Because you're just trying to get that initial layer on there. But all the shadows and all the highlights and once I start doing the veins and once I start putting the bruises, because this guy's going to be all bruised up, like he's got this implants in him that, he did not ask for that. So they're going to be all bruised up. And they'll be all with 2-brush blending. You just go in there with a little purple. That's the other thing about 2-brush blending. You can do neat special effects. You go in there with a little, like where that big rivet is like embedded in his skin. I'll take a little bit of purple, a little bit of red, and I'll just put a little tiny dot and I'll blend it. I'll just come in there and just touch it and let that, the capillary action of the spit and the model take effect. And it'll make this like nice bruisey effect around that. It's real simple. Or where the implants, like the arm is implanted, I'll bruise that up. And it's just, that sounds like a complex special effect. It really isn't. It's a touch of paint and a little spit, and boom, you make a bruise. Add a little yellow maybe to make it really super fancy. Not a big deal.
So star brush is a 1, 2, and a 3.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
How are we doing on time? We're almost done. We're going to try to paint an eye super fast.
9 minutes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got 9 minutes to paint. We're probably not going to do both
Which
eyes.
takes me an hour.
Let's do one
Let's
eye. Let's do one eye. We're not going to do both eyes. We're going to do one eye.
Yeah, right?
So really, really fast, I'm going to take a little Thamar black, and I'm going to use a little bit of that green. I do not paint with pure black. That is a matter for discussion. Some people will say, oh no, pure black's fine. Other people say, no, pure black. I personally like the, I'm sure you're, by this point you're familiar with like the European style and the American style of painting. I'm more of a Euro painter, philosophically. I'm not saying I'm anywhere near a European style painter, but philosophically I am. So I tend to go with add a little color to my blacks and my whites.
That black is a big comic outline,
Very American comic book outline.
If that's what you're going for, great.
Yeah, and honestly, there's going to be so little green in this, you're not actually going to be able to tell very much. It just reads, to me, for my eye, it reads really, really, really well for me.
It's not quite as stark.
It's not quite as stark, yeah, that's exactly right.
So do you paint more for yourself or do you paint for other people too?
I am a commission painter.
Okay, so if they want something more stark.
I will do it, I'm going to tell you right now, I will paint whatever you ask me to paint. I have pictures.
With certain boundaries.
No, there are no boundaries. There are no boundaries. You should see my Slanesh army from 1995. It was not allowed in the store.
Pictures or it didn't happen?
Why?
Let's just say I learned how to sculpt a mean set of balls.
There's a little one over there in the dark.
I have some really fun pictures. If y'all catch me after class and we'll go paint. If you want to go paint, I'm going to go paint. You can come join me. I've had a guy pay me to paint his Flames of War army as Hello Kitty.
So, like Hello Kitty tanks.
Hello Kitty. So imagine a tiger painted baby powder blue with a giant flag that has Hello Kitty wearing an army helmet that says "Born to Kill."
Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty, and then every one of the tanks in the unit has a cutie mark.
Oh, awesome.
If you pay me to paint it, I'll do it. I'm mercenary for hire.
Didn't you give the Hello Kitty a cigar too?
I hope he's really good. Most
Alright,
likely
so
he
real
is.
quick, I'm just taking that little bit of black and I'm going to paint the almond shape of her eye.
Yeah, right. I know I like things to be much more subtle, but I paint for my husband and he likes things much more stark.
I'm a subtle, which is exact opposite of
Comic
me.
booky, like
I'm
very...
so eclectic in my painting style. Like I know how to do like the Japanese crushed ink, like make the own paint and everything. But I also know how to do like the weird modern art that's like just shapes made into look like something else. So I'm like eclectic, and I do everything from oils to watercolor
Whatever
to
you
pastels.
got.
Basically, whatever my mom handed to me. I also sculpt polymer clay.
hate that stuff. That's worse than wire.
No, not really. If you actually make the bases out of foil, not out of wire.
Do you want to see this? Is anybody see
Yes,
this?
yes,
It's usually just a black. It's just
No,
a, it's
when
just
I
a
say
black thing
wire,
right
I'm
now.
talking about
Okay.
wire wrapping, which I've also done in my hood.
No, see, Paul McClay, you don't need a
Was
wire.
I using a
especially
1 or a
for
2?
You were probably using your 2.
Let's switch to a 2.
I think you were using your 2.
Now, for eyes, I do use pure white. Reason being, it looks better. It's got.
Well, you don't want the jaundiced eye, for example. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
but you want a pure. I do like a pure white. Sometimes I'll go down to what's called in this line called Morrow white, or not Morrow white, mid-off white highlight, and it's a creamy.
Yeah.
And I might add like a little tiny touch of that, but they tend to look jaundiced.
Yeah,
No, when
exactly.
I say
Yeah.
wire wrapping, I'm talking about jewelry. Oh, he's so cute. I love that. That's all over.
Also have a wire.
If nobody comes in here, I'm going to show y'all one more cool thing before we go. If we have a model, does anybody have a fun model I can do something fun to? You can get a new Reaper, dude.
I don't really care. I mean, I was just testing him out for Brotherhood of Steel Armor.
So, my my paint mentor taught me this, and this is a lot of fun. Everybody likes blood effects, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a little bit of red. I'm gonna take a little bit of black. I'm gonna mix these two colors together.
That came out really well.
My eyes won't let me see that.
Oh,
There
she's
we
offering.
go.
Look at her glasses. You want some glasses?
No, actually I can see it now. It's just the shadows were coming against.
So I'm
it.
taking a little bit of black.
There we go.
I'm taking a little bit of red, and I'm making a nice red color. I'm gonna add a little bit of mixed medium, and I want it pretty wet.
Makes
Zane,
me very
will you
suspicious.
do me a favor? Will you hold up this cloth? Try not to make a mess. So,
I don't know how I make a mess of this.
paint splatters. Load up a
Look
brush.
at that. Got it
Hold the
right in there.
miniature.
I would-
Brush right up to your mouth. Not enough. Hang on.
That's a great idea.
Your mixed medium's pretty suspicious looking.
Check your pants when you're done.
There we go.
Yay!
That was fun to
Hey.
watch.
It just accents the look.
Is it on me?
No.
Don't tell her.
It's super mutant blood.
Another cool thing, if you want to do really cool blood effects, get some man stubble going on. Work on that.
Yeah, right.
Get some good man stubble going on.
away.
Shave, and then collect that stubble and get it nice and clean, and then dry it, and then mix that into the paint. And then when you blow it, I know, right? When you blow it, what's going to happen? You're going to get that. That's not my What you're going to get this interesting. So like the hair will make a string, but then you'll get the blob on each end, and then the blobs will be splattered. So you get that nice stringy effect. It's really cool.
There's companies that are making stuff like that now.
Just as an
So
added.
does it
Like
look
fibers
kind
in
of
it,
like
yeah.
it's
You can
blobby?
grow your own.
I have a husband that, we have guys we can just steal from.
Yes, yes.
Steal your man's fur.
Yeah.
There she is. Okay, so nobody's coming in yet, so excellent. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white.
If you just clean it up, they should be able to get some stubble. I mean, hopefully they clean up their beards.
Maybe try putting your hand.
Okay.
Mine were full beard, so not so much, but
So you notice I roll my brush.
Neck beard,
What I'm doing by rolling my brush is just pulling out paint and getting a tip.
yeah, right.
And then I'm just gonna paint. I'm gonna paint the entire eye again, except I'm gonna leave that little bit of rim of black around it. So it's really.
He's got bloody mess.
Don't shake the table, Zane.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Heads up.
You know, I can try that until I'm blue in the face, and it's still not gonna look that
This brush makes everything work.
See, all the practice with the bad brush is gonna make the good brush easier.
I hope so.
It's
Because,
true.
yeah,
It's-
and I've
it's like-
tried and I've tried
like leveling up.
five
Yeah.
different brushes and it's
Well,
still.
that explains why I never managed to get that